Okay, we are rolling. We are rolling, brother. Champions of Champions boxing talk here. Well, it's been a while since my last video. I just think the sport's been a bit boring recently, don't you? Didn't really feel much motivation to make a video. Hopefully I can find the motivation to be bothered to upload this and release it in time for the big one. Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. Lineal champ v WBC champ. Right. How does this fight go? How does it play out? What's going to happen? The Gypsy King. The Bomb Squad. Character versus character. Different styles of fighters. Tyson Fury. Let's start with him. He's changed his trainer. Is that a good thing? There's a lot of people saying, oh, it's a bad thing. But you see, everybody talks from their experience, but everybody's different. Tyson Fury strikes me as the type that sometimes needs, things freshen up a little bit. Things changing up a little bit. Some people are great with one trainer. And you take that trainer away, and they might feel a little lost, a little insecure. Other people, they thrive again on variety. Tyson Fury, I think, is that kind of guy. Ben Davidson is a very young trainer, right? Let's not get it twisted. He's got a long career ahead of him. He will be a better trainer in subsequent years than he is at this moment in time, and what he was on the night when Tyson Fury first fought Deontay Wilder. That is a given, because being a trainer is not like being an athlete. You get better with the more knowledge you collect and the more data you gather. It's not like Ben Davidson has to be on a racing track at a certain age and have reflexes and them dim over time. No, you can actually get better as a trainer. If you are committed, which Ben Davidson is, he will only pick things up working with folks like Freddie Roach, being around fighters like Tyson Fury. The irony of it all is, Ben Davidson probably knew less about boxing training than Tyson Fury when he started training Tyson, right? He's probably picked up, a universe's worth of knowledge in those fights that he's trained Tyson Fury in. I don't think it's such a bad thing now that Ben Davidson takes that knowledge elsewhere. But Tyson Fury apparently believes his new trainer is like Emmanuel Stewart. If he is, Deontay Wilder might be in a bit of bother. Because Emmanuel Stewart trained his fighters to defend extremely well and not be hit when it's not necessarily time to be hit, if that makes sense. To close space. Look at Vladimir Klitschko before Stewart. Look at Vladimir Klitschko after Stewart. Times when Klitschko got hit in the past, he was all over the show. Very ragged. Panicking, like Bambi on ice, right? Manny Stewart taught him a way that whenever he felt flustered, whenever he felt panicked, close the space and tie up until it's time to come out the box again, when it's safe. Tyson Fury has, in a way, the opposite problem to Vladimir Klitschko. In a sense, Tyson Fury is vulnerable when he's too confident. That is a fact. That fight, and I know people are saying that there was ring rust, and there was. That was only a 60% Tyson Fury that turned up to fight Deontay Wilder in that first match. But let's just say this. Tyson Fury wins that fight if he doesn't square up his shoulders and get overconfident right in front of Deontay Wilder in the 12th round. If he moves around and dances that round out, a la Floyd Mayweather, or, again, frustrates, as he did in a lot of the fight, Deontay Wilder to go looking for him and throwing punches so he can counter, Fury wins the fight. Because when Fury miraculously got up from the canvas after he was dropped by Deontay Wilder in the 12th round, Fury then went on to win the remainder of the round. Right? I thought Fury won the fight anyway, but it gave the judges in America the excuse to give Deontay Wilder a draw. That excuse would have been extinguished if Tyson Fury kept focused and saw the round out. Now, the guy that's the legend of the sport that was there that night, right? He scored the fight for Tyson Fury. Floyd Mayweather. Put Floyd Mayweather as a heavyweight in that 12th round. Are you telling me that he's getting dropped in the 12th round? Are you telling me that he's going to stand there square up against Deontay Wilder and give him an opportunity to land his favoured punch, the right hand? Because not only did Deontay Wilder land the right hand, as Fury was going down, he landed a left hook. 2 shots in one motion, basically. Right? Floyd Mayweather would not let that happen. Watch the end of the Canelo Alvarez fight. It's a done and dusted job. If Floyd Mayweather thought that he's way ahead in the 12th round against one of the most feared punchers on planet Earth, he would not be complacent. He would look like live to be a coward and live to see another day. Simple. But of course, this trainer's going to have to get Tyson Fury to have... Because Tyson Fury is great when he's cautious. He is. Right? If he can get him to believe in the threat of Deontay Wilder, rather than, shall we say, blowing smoke up Tyson Fury too much. Because Tyson Fury, unlike Floyd Mayweather, again, Floyd Mayweather, I know he'd have been sat ringside thinking, why did you not just move? Side to side, defend, focus, be out of range, right? If this guy can bring Tyson Fury down to earth, and I've seen a few interviews with Tyson Fury lately, and he's not talking like a showman like he usually does. He's talking more like an athlete. That to me is good news. That to me is good news. Even in the press conferences, they're kind of a bit more subdued version of Tyson Fury, which tells me they're getting him to really focus. There's all this talk that Tyson Fury is going for a knockout in this matchup. I don't buy that. I don't think Tyson Fury is going to try and knock Deontay Wilder out unless the opportunity presents itself. I think Tyson Fury's aim is to be better than the version of the Tyson Fury we saw against Klitschko. That is the aim, because Deontay Wilder in his last fight looked more measured and cautious against Luis Ortiz. He waited for the right moment to throw that right hand. The problem you have with that tactic against Tyson Fury is that's what Klitschko did. He was waiting to land the perfect punch, but Tyson Fury wouldn't let him land it. And when you are, very active, Tyson Fury can pop, move, pop, move, counter punch you, better jab, a more fluent jab. Sometimes there isn't much on it, but it is, work rate of a kind that he's doing against Deontay Wilder. If Deontay Wilder is not active enough, he'll find himself needing yet again to pull a miracle punch out the bag. There could be a night when that miracle punch doesn't come. Klitschko was looking for that miracle punch, the perfect punch. It didn't come against Tyson Fury. Yes, Klitschko landed some glancing blows late on, but Fury's movement, you see, when you're looking for a perfect punch, the target has to stay still. But Fury's herky-jerky movement offset Klitschko. Let's face it, it offset Wilder, even though Wilder was, more measured in a sense than people give him credit for. But he was still throwing punches. But the herky-jerky movement didn't allow Wilder, who could sometimes throw from, an angle that I think sometimes he doesn't expect. It threw Wilder's radar off, so to speak. If Fury has only got to worry about one punch, even though it's a punch that Wilder, Fury is an intelligent fighter. He's got a high ring IQ. You would have to disguise that punch extremely well against Tyson Fury. He's not Luis Ortiz. Let's just say that. It's going to be harder nailing him with a perfect punch, because you'll have to disguise it, you'll have to throw it at the right angle. It is complex. If he waits too long, Deontay Wilder could end up like Klitschko. Yes, he hits harder than Klitschko, but Klitschko's got knockout power too. If I got knocked out by Wilder or Klitschko, I wouldn't know the difference. It's like saying, what would you rather be eaten by, a lion or a tiger? Well, whichever one is stronger, to a human they're equal. Do you know what I'm saying? If he waits too long, I think Deontay Wilder, and doesn't make Fury work, that's the key. He could find himself in the 12th round not having hurt Tyson that much, and feeling like Klitschko, in desperation mode. Don't forget, Wilder, though he was losing the first fight, did drop Tyson Fury before the 12th round. I think it was in the 7th in the first fight. He did land some stuff. He did. I think he even cut Fury in that fight. I'm not sure, I think it was his nose. And Fury had to do some work. So, although he was showboating in the 12th round, some of that was fatigue as well, which gave Deontay Wilder the opportunity, because you lose concentration with fatigue, to land that right hand and left hook as Tyson Fury was falling down. If Fury is as fresh as a daisy in the 12th round, because Wilder hasn't done that much, Fury may not make that mistake. He may not get confident, he may not square up, he may not fatigue and lose concentration. Right? Because Deontay Wilder, this is the thing, you have to concentrate so hard against a puncher. It takes your energy away, much more than it would a lesser puncher. So a little bit more activity from a puncher, even if it's not much, a feeling punch here, a pouring jab there, scares the wits out of the other guy. They may not show it, but they're worried about everything you do, even though you're not putting full purchase on it. That can bring the energy tank right down. That's what Deontay Wilder, whether he realised it or not, he was missing. But every time Deontay Wilder misses, I don't care who it is, you're thinking, thank God that didn't land. I got away with that one there. Another fighter, you wouldn't be thinking that. The fight would just be in a state of flow, if that makes sense. But Deontay Wilder, every second counts. And Fury did look a little bit, switched on. But he had to use a lot of brain energy in his switched on moments. In the 12th round, he thought it was done. But he was tired. And a mixture of, again, complacency and fatigue caused him to make that mistake and square up in front of Deontay Wilder. Tyson Fury has every single advantage over Deontay Wilder, I think, by the punch. But this is boxing, punches count. It doesn't matter if Deontay Wilder is 11 rounds down in every fight he has. If he lands that equaliser in the 12th, the right hand, which is his signature punch. That's all that matters. It's a win. It's a win. Just like Floyd Mayweather boxing someone's ears off for 12 rounds. It counts. Points count. Knockouts count. They do. It's alright boxing fans of different spears, casuals, experts, etc. saying, oh, this guy doesn't fight like that. The rule book of the rule book. For all Deontay Wilder's flaws, he's found a way to be where he's at. That's the power. And David Hayes said it's the most ferocious power he's ever felt. And he only sparred with Deontay Wilder. Do I believe David Hayes? I do. The thing is, though, what is Tyson Fury made of to get up from the canvas being hit by him twice? That's pretty determined stuff. That is all the stuff he had to survive with. Because, let's face it, I think Deontay Wilder, him and his team thought they had Fury. It was the right time. Bit of a mistake. The question is now, can Deontay Wilder be a better version of Tyson Fury? Because I think that we could see a better version in a sense. But he has to get his game plan right. Both have to get the game plan right. Tyson Fury has to be quicker, not slower. Right? No doubt about it. He has to concentrate. He has to do everything he usually does, but a little better. And he wins this fight on points. Right? The question is, 36 minutes to avoid what Deontay Wilder calls just 2 seconds. Fury took those punches and rose. And we all remember the finish and the glory. And it was almost, there was a lump in your throat when you watched it. Like a tear you could feel coming from your eye. You had literally seen with your own 2 eyes a boxing miracle. In hindsight now, we say he threw away the fight by squaring up to Deontay Wilder. But on the night, it looked miraculous. We weren't thinking that. It was like watching the WWE when you think you've beaten Hulk Hogan, he kicks out and then he starts getting mad. Or The Undertaker when he sits up. That's that sort of moment. But this is real life. That's why it was beyond a Rocky story. Just that moment is memorable of that fight. Right? He beat the count somehow. And then, like Hulk Hogan or The Undertaker, once they've survived in the WWE, Hogan goes on to win the match. Fury went on to win the round. The script, you could not write it any better. But then, now there's a reality. What effects did those shots that Deontay Wilder landed on Tyson Fury have on his punch resistance and on his reflexes? Because last time out, Tyson Fury didn't look that great. He got cut. He battled through like a warrior. But he went a 12-round war with a guy that many people thought he would stop in 3 or 4 rounds. Now, Paulie Malignaggi is right. Tyson Fury rises to his opposition. But the thing is, aside from the power, Deontay Wilder doesn't have what a Klitschko has, what an Anthony Joshua has. So you can fall in that trap of thinking. This is why the concentration is so valuable. You can fall into the trap of thinking, this is not as difficult. You start with the fear. Let's just begin. That zaps the energy late on. You start with the fear that everything Wilder throws is deadly. Then he throws a jab that's not that good. And you think, I'm okay here. As the fight wears on, yeah, I'm getting confident. This Deontay Wilder, he's not what I thought he was. I'm okay. I'm doing well. It's not like he's Mike Tyson that comes in there for 3 or 4 rounds and you think, oh my God, this is a whirlwind. I've got to survive somehow. Wilder doesn't do that. It's when you are a combination again of fatiguing and confident. Bam! Luis Ortiz started following Deontay Wilder around the more confident he got in the last fight. He was winning everything. But then he was getting a little bit tired but thinking, I'm okay here. Even though he'd been knocked out previously to Deontay Wilder. And he took that right hand worse the second time around than he did the first. The question is, can Tyson Fury pitch out a perfect fight? He's capable of it, yes. But can he survive again if he gets hit with that right hand? Have those shots in the first fight between these two guys damaged Tyson Fury's punch resistance? If Deontay Wilder could focus, get a bit of mustard on that left hand, left hook close, Fury may be in some bother because he's been a bit vulnerable lately to that shot, Tyson Fury. His last fight, he was buzzed with that shot late on. I saw it. People didn't shine much light on that, but I saw it with my own two eyes, right? But I'm backing Tyson Fury. Maybe this is my heart ruling my head. I'm backing him to rise to his opposition. And the Klitschko fight was nearly perfect. I'm expecting that a Tyson Fury can do that again on this occasion and come out with a points victory. I would not go for Deontay Wilder. I would be what I've always been if I was Tyson Fury, but a better version. Right? How can Wilder win this? Well, what he does is what he does. He's always got that chance with the power. Would it surprise me if Deontay Wilder won this? No. It wouldn't surprise me if Deontay Wilder won this in 2 rounds, because if he lands early, it's as good as done. Early as it is late on with him. It's when that punch detonates. And it's not a power punch, it's a nuclear explosion. Right? But Deontay Wilder, I think, should have a bit more faith in his boxing. Don't care so much if you're being beaten in the exchanges and get frustrated. Just keep plugging away with the jab. Whether it's good, bad, indifferent, use it as a range finder. Right? If you're being beaten to the jab, still jab with the jabber. Because sooner or later, you'll get your chance to set something up with it. But if you're just fighting like a one-handed guy, you're easier to predict. Right? But that's what Lennox Lewis did with Frank Bruno. I know that these styles are completely different. But Frank Bruno was doing well with his jab early on in their bout, but Lewis kept jabbing with him. Even though a lot of the time he was being beaten to the jab by Frank Bruno. Kept jabbing, kept plugging away. Eventually, an opportunity arose. Bruno got confident, threw his jab, started throwing power punches. Lennox Lewis threw a blind right hand that landed sweet on that chin. But he did bust Frank Bruno up with his own jab. Even though Bruno, I think, was outlanding the jab, he was still exchanging, having his moments. And when you are a puncher, you can be beaten 3-1, but your one matters. But you got to be in the ballpark to land that one. Right? Deontay Wilder should be considering jabs to the body if he can. Slow those legs down. Fury, again, will beat you in the boxing exchanges. But just keep with it. Just stick with it. You've got 36 minutes to set something up. But if you're touching him with the jab, that means you can find him. Think about that. That means you, as the most feared puncher on planet Earth, can find him. If a soft jab is landing, right, sooner or later you can land the big detonator. Tyson will always be focusing on preventing you landing that right hand. He was keeping Wilder on the left hand most of the first fight because he knew that Wilder didn't have much on it. But if you can snap it, and if you can use feints, and if you can disguise something, I might be talking about a fighter here that doesn't exist. As Malignaggi said, and I agree, I don't know what really adjustments Deontay Wilder makes. But I'm just saying what I would advise him to do. Use the jab. Don't get frustrated if you're getting beaten to the jab. He lands 2, you might land 1 here and there. Right? He's dancing the pants off you. Right? But constantly be there, because at some point his movement will slow. Then you could set something up. Again, use the feints. Disguise a shot. Blind him with the jab a little bit. You know, fire that right hand, not just to the head. Don't always be looking just to the head. Hit the chest. Right? These are basic things I'm talking about. These are things that I think Deontay Wilder can do. These are things that if Deontay Wilder did do, I wouldn't be surprised. Right? Because I'm not asking him to be Sugar Ray Leonard. He doesn't need to be. He just has to be in the lottery. He just has to put the numbers on. He just has to buy the ticket. And he's got a chance of winning the jackpot. Because, you know, like you get some people in life that are brilliant gamblers. They just seem to win. Even though they're not that good in a game. But they just have luck. Well, it's not luck with Wilder. It's happened too many times. But he is a good gambler. He's a brilliant gambler. He proved that in the Ortiz fight last time. Who can give away 8 rounds and literally say, I need 2 seconds, and then go out there and prove it, gamble on it? Them 2 seconds may never show up, but with a good gambler, it does. Wilder's a great gambler. The law of averages says, I'm going to get my chance. It's like when you watch a football team. If you defend well, you'll get a chance against the other team. It will come. Right? It's just if you take it. Wilder is capable of taking it. The problem is he faces a man that is capable of pitching a perfect fight. But again, don't worry about you not being perfect. Try and match the perfect guy, but don't get frustrated if you can't. Just be there. Be there. That's the key. Be there in range. Right? Be there in range. And Tyson Fury does go on the back foot. Wilder does have a long arm there to extend on that right hand. Sometimes as well, why not hit the guard? Would a Deontay Wilder right hand on the arms hurt? Yes, it would. Everything with that right hand's going to hurt. These are some of the plots and plans that I would be thinking if I was in Deontay Wilder's camp. Maybe he has already. But it's very simple stuff I'm talking about. This is not complex stuff. I'm not asking him to be Sugar Ray Leonard. He doesn't need to be. He just needs to be, you know, in the race. And the last sprint, he can be behind all the way. Then the final lap, he can win the race. I hope that makes sense. It does to me. Right? It's about spacing, obviously. Tyson Fury, if he is buzzed and survives, mustn't get complacent. He's a big unit. Big unit. He holds and leans on Deontay Wilder. He can zap some of Wilder's strength and energy. Deontay Wilder should be quick. He's, a very light heavyweight for this day and age. You can get away from Tyson Fury with that speed. You can prevent him clinching. Preserve as much in the gas tank as you can. Deontay Wilder should also be encouraged to know that he was able to take Tyson Fury's punches. He was buzzed a few times, I think, but he come through it. He wasn't the one that was dropped. Let's remember that. So he can afford to take a jab here, to take a glancing right hand there. But again, if he's in the race, no matter if he's behind, if he's the football team that is only 2-1 down going into the last 5 minutes, he can turn things around in an instant. He's got the equaliser. He's got the belief. An urgency, yes, a little bit. I don't think you can just wait for the punch to land. I don't think Tyson Fury will fall for that. But an urgency that is patient, obviously. Patient urgency. You know, calculated risk. Calculated gambling. If he does all that, at some point it's inevitable he wins this fight. There's 36 minutes. It's just, can he do all these things? Because I've said the simple things, but sometimes the most simplest things are the most hardest to apply. You know, we shall see. I just think this could be, the fight could go either way. Is it as simple as Fury points, Wilder knockout? Maybe not. We could see. I had a balmy dream the other night. A balmy dream that Deontay Wilder won this on points. Can you believe it? There was no knockdown either. And Tyson Fury lost the fight to Deontay Wilder on points. Do dreams come true? Sometimes, but this was a bit of a nightmare. Who knows? The dream could be telling me that Fury knocks Wilder out. You know, Fury has put on a lot of muscle. Maybe that will give him some punching power. He's got to have the same mobility, obviously. It's got to be actually better. He's got to be able to sustain it for longer. But if Fury has put any more mustard on those punches, those right hands, and the jab, and his head movement is still there, and his mobility and his foot speed on the back foot and to the side. But if the power is better because of the weights, you never know. He may win this by stoppage. Wilder might think that he's fighting a guy who is the same punching power as before, but Fury may be hitting that a little bit harder. Who knows? You know, Teddy Atlas said, and I agree, punches are born, they're not made. But you can improve your punch to a certain extent with technique. It's never going to be more powerful, but it's how well you land. That's the thing. You can have a fighter that is not as hard a hitter as other, but if he lands clean with his punches and he's got decent power, he's going to get his fair share of knockouts. Where you could have a murderous puncher that lands glancing blows but doesn't get a knockout because his technique's not as good. So if Fury has sitting down at the right moment with his punches, because again, he's learning from a new trainer now, there could be something in that. And again, the technique of the shot can pay dividends. It won't be necessary. It may look like the person. Canelo Alvarez's technique has improved as a puncher. To me, he sits down on it better. It lands crisper, etc. People say his power has improved. It hasn't. He's just better at landing it now. If Fury can do that, maybe he can score a knockout. But to see Deontay Wilder completely outboxing Tyson Fury would be a sight. But it happened in my dream, guys. Will it happen in reality? We'll see. But I think I'm edging Tyson Fury here. There's something in the waters that says we're going to see vintage Fury and a frustrated Wilder. But I'm not counting Deontay Wilder out. How can I? This is boxing. Always be prepared to be right when you make a pick. But never be shocked when you're wrong. Because this is boxing. And this is Champions of Champions Boxing Talk. It's the Gypsy King for me. I'm out, brother.